think the question of whether there is a Judeo-Islamic tradition puts our field of interest in too close to modern political terminologies. I would rather state what we know in terms that are not trying to fix terminology. I would say that there is a tradition that developed when Jews were part of the world of Islamicate. The traditions developed over centuries. There are cultural and religious traditions, and yes, to some extent they are alive even today. The study of Muslim Jewish traditions is always relevant. It's relevant because it is such a central part of our culture, our heritage, the way the culture in the Mediterranean, in the Middle East, in Europe developed. It is such an integral part of it that any attempt to ignore it would be just wrong academically and emotionally. In the world today, in our situation today, ignoring it becomes a political statement. And just being faithful to the facts is one way to start to improve things to get today, I think. If a student of mine begins to be interested in Jewish-Muslim relations, I think I would first of all ask him to rephrase the question. I would ask him to, or her, to choose the part of the body of information that interests him or her and focus on that. And if that body of information includes anything that has to do with Islam or with Judaism in the world of Islam, then the most basic information, advice that I would give him was to get the tools that he or she need. And that would be first of all the language, then the culture, then the people. The case of Maimonides, I think, shows how when we grapple for metaphors and we say intertwined religions and we imagine these two trajectories of Islam and Judaism, how wrong it is. Because Maimonides lived in what I try to describe in my work as a whirlpool, where all the different influences that were part of his world came together. For him, he was not, he was obviously very clearly a Jew with a clear Jewish identity. His first language was Arabic, and languages were Arabic and Hebrew. But he was part of a world where all the different influences were fused together to his own culture, which I dubbed Mediterranean culture, but it's just because I, again, was looking for a term that would describe the richness of the world in which he lived. I think Maimonides' example shows us that it is academically, scientifically, I think, it's a wrong approach to try to slice the object of our studies and to fit it into different drawers. People live in different drawers at the same time. They don't live in this or that trajectory. They have different identities, and they leave all of these identities together. one of the things that became very clear to me in the last few years is that the kind of world of intellectual encounters that philosophers and theologians and scientists in the Middle Ages lived in the world of Islam does not exist today in the same way, and is not reflected in scholarship today, of this field today. And we, together with other colleagues, Palestinians, Germans, Americans, Israelis, we established a website which is called intellectualencounters.com. Intellectual encounters in one word. And in this website we try to achieve two things: to have the website bring to life the cultural, philosophical, intellectual world of the Middle Ages with its multi-religious aspect, so that if a person Googles a Jewish author like Maimonides and doesn't know anything about the Muslims or the Christians, the website will take him or her by the hand and will lead him or her to the other texts and recreate the world of the culture as it existed then. It also attempts to overcome the current political and religious walls that prevent scholars from working together, and through the virtual existence use the cyberspace to overcome these obstacles.